Have the clerk please call the roll.
Supervisor Fountain?
Here.
Treasurer Horning?
Here.
Clerk Chofew? Here. Trustee Collier?
Here.
Trustee Germain?
Here.
Trustee Harper?
Here.
Trustee Petrucci?
Here. Thank you.
That looks pretty big.
Item number 4 is approval of our agenda.
So moved.
Support?
Motion by Treasurer Horning, second by Trustee Kalani. Any discussion?
We're gonna start dancing here in a minute.
Ice cream, ice cream.
Well, you try to kill it, it won't.
There you go. Just gotta press this button.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Call to the public? Nobody here for call to the public this evening? We'll move on to item number 6, which is approval of our consent agenda.
So moved. Support?
Motion by Trustee Harper, second by Trustee Germain. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. We have one bit of business tonight. It's a resolution for an ordinance to temporarily relax standards for outdoor uses. And we had our planner, Troy Lanier, join us this evening just to give us a brief overview of what this entails. Maybe, Troy, if you could just go over what the process is for anybody that's interested. And then we can open it up to any questions and then vote on it. Go ahead.
So, as you're all aware, I think just recently Governor Whitmer issued another executive order that will actually allow restaurants to open up. They're limited at their seating capacity. When restaurants are open, even at half capacity, their expenses remain largely the same. They have to have the same amount of staff there. They may even have extra staff there to help clean things. But with their seating capacity reduced to half, their revenue stream is reduced. So Heartland Township looked at what it could do to help. And one of the things that came up, and it wasn't my idea, this is a result of other people here at the township manager, former township manager, and I had a discussion on this of what we could do, and kind of the seed was planted, and I began to research what other communities are doing to relax standards and ordinances. And I started to find out not many other communities were doing this, at least here in Michigan. So my search went beyond the borders of Michigan. Now, there are some communities that were cities that were able to block off streets in their downtown to make that available for outdoor seating, but those were not options that we had. So those communities and what they outlined and their process really didn't pertain to us. So I found myself searching communities in Florida, Texas, California, West Virginia, and Minnesota, and they all had different variations of something like what we were doing, but not even completely like what we were doing. What we ultimately did is put together an ordinance that would essentially relax all of our current regulations and allow a restaurant to utilize their outdoor space for outdoor seating. If this involves putting it in a lawn area temporarily, if this involves putting it in the parking lot temporarily, they can do so. And this will be a temporary measure while these executive orders are in place that limit their indoor capacity. They'll be able to apply for a special event permit at no charge, and that application is more or less just so we can track who they are, how to contact them, and then they'll submit a site plan showing the general area of where they intend to have their outdoor activity. That permit will be reviewed administratively by staff, which would be myself, and it'll be approved for a period up to 45 days. And at the end of that 45 days, it can be renewed for an additional 45 days, ultimately until they no longer desire to do it, or until these executive orders have been lifted, and at that point, we'll probably rescind this ordinance. So that's the general process. That what it does is it puts Heartland Township at the front of this and issues the permit. They still have to go to County Health Department, Heartland Fire,
You do not
Deerfield.
have to go to the health department.
Oh, well,
The Liquor Control Commission,
if they have a liquor
They have a liquor
license, they'll have to go to Liquor Control
Yeah.
Commission, and they'll probably also reach out to the Heartland Deerfield Fire Authority. When we get that application, we're going to send it to them anyhow. And the way the Heartland Deerfield Fire Authority has expressed to me how they're going to do it is more on-site. They'll go out and just examine that no doorways are blocked, or if they have extension cords for power out there, that they're not a trip hazard or a fire hazard, and they'll just make field adjustments. And even the Liquor Control Commission has indicated that they intend to relax their standards and process these much quicker than they might normally do that. All of this is a measure to, in an interim period of time, help these businesses by utilizing their outdoor space so they have a good, strong startup.
very good. Any questions?
Just so, for the record, though, everybody that does these kind of things are still going to have to comply with the executive orders that are issued by the state, is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't supersede any state order or anything like that. So
Okay.
we're essentially just looking at, this is the general location it's going to occur for 45 days, and then we'll track that 45 days and reach out to them close to their expiration and say, do you want to extend it? If they reply to an email, great, or if they want to send in a letter, great. So the whole process is to be simple, easy, quick, and assist them. And we're not going to get bogged in, for a temporary period, we're not going to get bogged into, do they have adequate off-street parking spaces? Is that an appropriate barrier that maybe encloses their outdoor seating area? We're not going to get into the fence has to be a certain quality. We're not going to get in, we'll let, if the state wants to do that, that'll be up to them. But we're just going to approve it and send them off to those other agencies. And hopefully they're also assisting these businesses get going. And each of these restaurants is going to have to do a cost-benefit analysis as to how much outdoor seating do you do before you're spending too much money on tables and chairs that you're not going to recoup it from your menu options, if that makes sense. But that'll be up to them. The Heartland Township's just saying, you've at least got those options from us.
So there's, the application is not included, I don't think, within our packet.
No.
But the way the procedure will happen is that they submit it to us and then you notify the fire department and others?
No, I will notify the fire department. We already have a strong working relationship, but we will advise them to also go talk to the fire department, fire authority, as well as the other agencies. We'll probably approve our permit before we even get a formal response from the fire authority. And the fire authority more or less is planning to do site visit inspections as opposed to site plan review.
Okay, and then the other question I had, I'm trying to think outside the box here. I'm pretty sure that movie theaters cannot open yet. But if they do, when they can, and if they wanted to have, say, put an outdoor screen to get more patrons to see certain movies, would this ordinance cover that as a retail facility, or is that stretching the boundaries of the intent?
So that's probably stretching the boundaries. And again, this is temporary. So any project or any restaurant or retail use that wanted to do something that was permanent in nature, such as paving a landscape area, we would say that this ordinance does not apply, and they would have to go through the normal process. In a movie theater, to install that type of equipment out there for an outdoor,
Be costly.
yeah, I'm not sure how, I would certainly entertain and be willing to talk with them and have that discussion. I'm not sure that that's likely to occur, and if it's more permanent in nature, then this ordinance wouldn't apply.
Correct, okay, very good.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Troy. Being none, I'll entertain a motion, and then we'll have a roll call vote.
I'll make a motion for an ordinance to temporarily relax standards for outdoor uses.
Support.
Motion by trustee Harper, second by trustee Colini. Any other discussion?
I will say that, I think I might have forwarded this to you and James, on the municipal listserv for municipal lawyers that we work through MML. There were a couple of other communities like Troy and Birmingham that were also looking to do the similar kind of thing. So there's been some buzz about this whole thing in Michigan. So I don't know if they formally adopted anything. I didn't really follow up to see if they did. We could be the very first one to do this, but may not.
So I reached out to the Michigan chapter of the American Planning Association and said, I am not having success finding anybody that's done this in Michigan. Can you help me? And they spent about a week on this and got back to me and said, we can't find anyone that's done this either. However, by inquiring about this, we're very interested in what you're doing at Heartland.
That's good. So I would send it off to them, if you haven't already, and I would probably maybe have the supervisor or somebody send this off to MML. And Bill or somebody from the board may want to talk about this at, I think the next MML or MTA kind of thing is going to probably be more of like a Zoom type conference or a Zoom type thing, but it would be a nice topic to bring up, so.
So.
I certainly don't have the time right now. I'm dealing with the Midland floods, right?
Every 2
That's over,
weeks,
isn't it?
every 2 weeks, the supervisors in the county, we have a Zoom meeting. And at the meeting on, I think it was 2 days ago, it doesn't make any difference. All the days are
Yeah.
the same, right? Not too long ago, I suggested to them, well, we're going to do something. This is before the governor came out with the new extension. So we were going to do a countywide letter like we did in April. And then I brought this up as well. So I actually forwarded this to all the other county supervisors yesterday. And I got a couple different thank yous back that, thinking this might be something they'll consider as well. So
Cool.
good work, guys.
Good
Okay,
leadership.
with that, there's,
I have a question, perhaps a point of order. And I understand this is a resolution, but you asked for a motion. Do we need to have an individual vote for a
Yeah,
resolution?
yeah, we're going to do a roll call vote. Yep. And with that, Larry, I'll have you call the roll, please.
Trustee Germain,
Yes.
Supervisor Fountain,
Yes.
Trustee Coliani,
Yes.
Treasurer Horning,
Yes.
Trustee Harper,
Yes.
Trustee Clerk Chofu, yes. Trustee Petrucci,
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 8 is board reports, and we'll start tonight with trustee Harper,
No report.
trustee Petrucci,
No report.
clerk Shofu.
just want to give an update on the absentee voter ballot applications. We have sent out the absentee voter ballot applications to everyone on our permanent absentee list last week. We are starting to get those back. The state has accessed our qualified voter file for all of those individuals that are not on the permanent absentee list. They will be mailing out applications to all other registered voters, and they should be going out around the 10th or the 12th so that everyone in the Heartland Township will get an absentee voter application, but they're coming from the state.
So if we wanted one quicker, do we go through?
We are in a holding pattern until the state finishes what they're doing, so we don't do duplicates or miss people.
But the next election is not until August, right?
Pardon?
This is
Next
just the
election is
application.
in August,
Yeah. Yes.
so we're,
It's a dual,
Far ahead.
it's a dual application, so you can check it for August and November, and you're done with both, so.
It's just the application.
And we're encouraging people to vote absentee, especially for the August election.
Speaking of elections, I know that on one of the notes from James was the renewal on the fire millage. And have you guys been looking at that? Because we need to have
It's
the
going to be
language.
that's going to be on their report. to-
Okay.
to this, after this. They're
Oh,
going to have an update on this.
All right.
That's all I had.
Thank you. Treasurer Horning?
On this year's tax bills, on the bottom half that's perforated that we keep and then we send them back, we're going to encourage people to use the drop box and not enter the building unless they have to. If they return the entire bill with their payment, we will stamp the top copy and send it back to them. Trying to think of the safety of them and our employees.
You're not just waiving taxes this, I just ask,
If
you
you
gotta
waive 'em-
ask.
If you waive them, I'll waive them.
All right. Trustee Kalani?
And Matt might have, or Joe might have brought this up, that we usually have a summer program for the Heartland Teen Center that's going to be canceled this year, so. And then our annual golf outing, which was scheduled for the end of this month, that'll be moved again to the fall. So we're not having that at this time, but just kind of let everybody know what's going on.
Thank you. And Trustee Germain?
No report.
Just briefly, we will be having a meeting 2 weeks from this evening, most likely. The Planning Commission is going to be a week from Thursday looking at a private road with Bella Vita. And in the lieu of keeping that project going forward, I think we should have a quick meeting. That has to be approved by the board. If it's approved by the, well, however, we have to vote on it. And it's going to be a long time. If we didn't have another meeting in 2 weeks, it would have been maybe 5 weeks between meetings. So we'll just keep the next one as scheduled. I don't anticipate it being a real long meeting, but I think it's important to keep that project going. So just put that on your calendars. And if you haven't seen the painting on the berm on M59 for the graduation of 2020 class, it's pretty neat looking. It's got the Heartland H, and have you seen it? It's pretty sweet. So I think it's this Saturday is the graduation, and I'm not sure of the details, so I don't want to mislead anybody
It's a
with the time.
drive-through.
It's a drive-through. I'm sure if you went to any local, or even to the school website, you'd be able to find out the details. But congratulations to all of them. If there's nothing else for our regular meeting, take a brief recess and we'll go into our work session, which is tonight, manager recruitment and update from the fire department. Take a brief recess.
Stay here.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have anything to look at on the screen.